Hello, assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And a lot of things have been going on. There have been some developments going side by side. As we know, since Imran Khan was moved to Adiala jail, everybody, as I said, I would never believe the courts, and I wouldn't rely on the judiciary because unless and until there is no implementation of decisions or of charges by judges, then it's absolutely useless because then to me it's like they're just playing a game between themselves, the army, the judiciary, and the intelligence agencies, the establishment, that they're just working together to make fools out of people. So there is no reliability here. And once again, I'm sorry to say I've been proved right because they made such a big deal out of changing jails, putting him in a Diyala jail and constantly emphasizing on the fact that, he's going to the place where Nawaz Sharif and Zardari and Benazir and all the other political prisoners have been, which is supposed to be in a good place and in a good condition, but just although they pretended to move him to a B class jail, they actually shifted him into a C class jail. The cell is even smaller than the one that was in Attak jail, where now he cannot even pray. He doesn't even have enough space to pray, and they have begun their torture games on a new level of making life difficult for him, making it impossible for him to exercise or to pray, to walk, to have some room, some space, or to be able to read anything. So all the facilities that it took his team of lawyers to fight for when he was in Attak jail, the minute they started giving him those facilities in Attak jail, they decided to suddenly move him to Adiala jail on the pretext of following court's orders. And now again, once again, there is this whole, it has started from zero, where now again they are demanding facilities. They're demanding that he be put back in a proper cell. They're demanding that he be allowed to get some books, that he be allowed to eat safe food that is delivered to him from home. So the whole caboodle is once again, it's back to zero. It's all over again. The same thing has started again. The whole cycle has begun. Today was supposed to be Imran Khan's birthday, as a result of which a lot of women gathered in Zaman Park, which is where his house is. And a lot of PTI members gathered there as well. And obviously, in retaliation, because remember, our caretaker government is also basically an illegal government, and all the people in the caretaker government are extensions of the previous illegal government, which means these are all people who are put there by Nawaz Sharif, Shahbaz Sharif, and the likes. So to ensure that the country remains under them, under their hands, under their power, and ultimately under the US. So, in retaliation to that, the Punjab police was sent, together with even vans, so that basically the plan was that they should try to, create a situation where they should arrest all the women. So there was that. But even another thing, remember I said that the public is seething and they're simmering and they're almost boiling and they will suddenly erupt, and they've already taken too much time to erupt, in my opinion. But yes, their eruptions are beginning. Maryam Nawaz came back to Pakistan again, thinking once again that everything is under her control, and that because the media is under their control, the judiciary is under their control, the establishment is under their control, that they could once again manipulate the whole situation. But you see, the people are no longer having it. The people are going beyond despair and now towards aggression. As I said, would happen. And it's obvious it happens anywhere and everywhere when the public, who are the real owners of the state, the masters of the state, when you push the master, the owner of a house, to a corner, then at the end of the day, he will kick you out. It's as simple as that. The servants of the house can never become the owners of the house, no matter how much they try. At one point, the owner of the house will decide to take control and to throw everybody out. And that is exactly what's happening here, because we, the owners of the state, are now getting extremely angry. And now we're losing patience and tolerance. And because day by day, they're literally, as I said, they're literally making fun of the fact that Pakistani people have no history of aggression towards politicians who have made their lives miserable in the past. That Pakistanis have this really shameless attitude, which they call tolerance, where they endure all kinds of humiliation at the hands of their politicians and their government. And where Pakistanis are so lazy and selfish, and they're all thinking about themselves, that they can never be united in a cause. But as they've seen before, Pakistan can be united in a cause, usually under the flag of Imran Khan. It's a fact. He is the only person who could ever unite the country under a cause. He is the only person who could ever move the whole country in unison. And once again, basically, the people, because even now, even though Imran Khan is not center stage, he's not directly leading anybody, but because of what is happening to him, and because of what has happened to the people, and because of what is going to happen and what is already happening, because of all of that, the people are now at the eruption stage. Eruption number one, most noticeable, although there have been minor eruptions, as you know, but now pre-election eruptions have started. So eruption number one, Maryam Nawaz once again has a failed jalsa, and she thought that she could somehow overcome it, like how she has overcome all her other failed jalsas, because whenever she calls people to get together, and she does her speeches and has her addresses and all, actually there have never been more than 1,000 or a few hundred people. But they've always controlled the media, so the media would set up their camera at a particular angle as ordered, so that it should look as if that in a very small street there are a huge number of people. So she did that again. This time she chose a particularly tiny street. You can say it is so tiny that along the width of the street you can fit in no more than 4 to 6 chairs. Okay, that's how tiny that street was. And this is just a few days ago, a couple or more days ago, and this was in Shadra, Lahore. And when she, stood at the podium and made her speech, there was no media outlet as such that was allowed. In fact, even allowed to release the footage, because to be honest, even if there was no footage to be released anyway, because no matter how the mainstream media set up the angles of their cameras, they could capture no more than tens of 20s of people, 15 people here, 20 people there, 60 people there. So they were no more than a few hundred. In fact, the actual is probably just maximum 50 to 100 people. This is how. And those were again most probably their own supporters or voters, not even supporters, people who were actually linked to the PMLN party. I think it was only those people who came, and some of those, because Pakistanis, they love to they love to stand and see somebody fall. So a few people probably went there just to see her fall. So there were people who secretly held their mobile phones by their side, and they secretly recorded the humiliation of Maryam Nawaz. And the only footage that was officially released was the one that was recorded by a PMLN member. But because people had taken secret footages, they managed to release that online, which then the rest of the media managed to, share with the public. So now eruption number two. Yeah, last night when Shahbaz Sharif once again thinking that he is the big Don, He just got ready in his you know pseudo westernized top hat and boots, which is actually the thing that I hate the most about him. But anyway, so he was dressed up, he thought that he was, going to like show off in front of the public and everybody's going to come around. But yeah, people did come. People stopped his car, people surrounded his car, people started shaking his car, not out of love for him, but out of extreme anger. People were so violent last night towards him, that they started hurling abuses at him, and the worst abuses ever, the kind of abuses that people cannot even find in the dictionary. They hurled abuses at him, they swore at him, they cussed at him, they told him off, they yelled at him. They were basically so angry that they were trying to pull him out of the car, but he was so scared. He was literally shitting his pants that he locked the door and stayed inside, shivering and shuddering. And his own personal bodyguard was completely useless in the mix. I mean, so that was eruption number two. Today was, you could say, eruption number three, but this was not eruption in the sense of violence against anybody. This was more as a determined stance against them, when all the women, they went to Zaman Park and they read the Quran, and they said some prayers. And so that was that eruption point or retaliation. Because of that, then, or maybe paired with that, the PTI members then also announced their move, which is that now they are going to do a jalsa. So they're now going to have this, they're going to gather people and they're going to address the people. So that is now PTI's official move. So yeah, these developments are taking place because Mariam has already been slammed by the people like a million times. But as we know, they are a shameless family. Zardari family and Sharif family, they are utterly shameless. But then again, once again, I'll reiterate myself that when you go back to their socio-economic background, you can understand the kind of mentality that these people have. Shamelessness is how they made money. Shamelessness is how they came into power. Shamelessness is how they got what they got. Shamelessness is how they are where they are. So, what can we say? These people will never, their greed will never have an end, and their shamelessness will always be overwhelming. So keeping all of that in mind now, we need to see, because Imran Khan, oh yeah, there was another thing, I'm sorry, but there was another sort of, also I think we could say that the eruption of the people sort of also, people decided that, okay, let's just get out there now, because enough is enough. As we know, when the people of Lahore start getting active, that's when you know that Pakistan's getting active. Even though, again, I would say that I think that I am utterly ashamed of the people of Lahore as to how they took their time with it, because since the call for shutting down the country came, the only two provinces that continued determinedly with boycotting the bills and with shutting down their businesses was the Kashmir and Gilgit Baltistan. Okay, Sindh, the people of Karachi, they suddenly upped and died. The people of Lahore suddenly upped and died. And the people of Karachi are, anyways, the most unreliable people, politically speaking, generally. They can never be relied on to, surge into the streets and come out and protest, You don't, so basically, that's why people always look at Lahore, because this is always expected that any activity that can rock the whole nation, it usually begins from Lahore. But this time, Lahore, too, I would say personally, Lahore disappointed me. I found the people of Lahore to be extremely disappointing in the sense that they took so much time to erupt. Yeah, I know they were giving the silent treatment, but as I said 1,000 times before, this is not the time for a silent treatment. Karachi is also giving a silent treatment, you know. Karachi just erupted for a few hours, or maybe a day or two, or maybe a week at most, when it came to boycotting the bills. But Lahore could have lasted longer. But Lahore also, sort of after a few weeks, you just didn't hear any momentum being gained. It's like they decided, the only places again which were determinedly, standing, they were determinedly taking their stand. That was Kashmir and Gilgit Baltistan. Kudos to them, kudos. And the people of KPK, yes, yeah, how can I forget them? The people of KPK did their own aggressive eruptions against the police and against others. So, yeah. But, the people of Lahore and Karachi, utterly useless. So yeah, okay, the eruptions in Lahore are beginning. I think maybe it's also because of the, as you know, there was this movement going on, especially after finally Imran Riaz Khan was released by the state managers, the intelligence agencies, who, by the way, let us remember, just only, till recently kept claiming that they had no idea where he was, but very conveniently produced him when the time came. So again, Usman Dar then became a hot topic as soon as Imran Riaz Khan got released. Then everybody again started, they were already there was this movement going on of releasing Imran Khan, releasing Imran Riaz Khan, and releasing Usman Dar, releasing all the females, all the PTI voters and supporters who were in jail, all the PTI members who were in jail. So there's this constant, movement online and offline to get them released. But now, because Usman Dar's, it became a big thing, after Imran Riaz Khan. So very, very conveniently now, suddenly the person who, again, they alleged that they had no clue where he was, suddenly they produce him and out of nowhere, and then they make Kamran Shahid, one of the mainstream journalists, they make him do an interview with Usman Dar. Now, this interview actually just proved to be, it kind of didn't go the way they expected it to go, or the way they thought it would go. It only angered the people more. It angered Usman Dar's family more. It angered other journalists, the veteran journalists, the ones who are still, fighting for the truth, and the investigative journalists. It angered them, and especially the fact that Kamran Khan agreed to do the interview, even though maybe he was ordered by the intelligence agencies, maybe he was threatened. I don't think he was threatened. I don't know. Maybe he thought it was going to be a big scoop, as long as he could somehow, have an interview with Usman Dar. It didn't matter who made him do the interview. I don't know, and I cannot guess, and I have no clue. I can't say anything. But all I can say is it backlashed. It backlashed very, very badly. In fact, if anything, it has probably ruined Kamran Shahid's name, his own reputation as a journalist. It has, the interview just went the other way, you can say. It didn't go the way it was supposed to. And as a result, in fact, Usman Dar's mother then came up. She released a video of her own in which she lashed out at the state managers, and she lashed out at Khwaja Asif, and she warned him that now he has her as his political rival, and she challenged him, and she's like, forget my son. Your challenge is with me now. Your fight is with me. So come into the ring and let's see who's who, if you have the guts. She literally said that. So, let's. And he's probably pissing his pants, because Khwaja Asif, he is a foul mouthed a-hole. He's literally an a-hole. The only thing that comes out of his mouth is BS and crap. And he's actually useless as a man and as a person. So, Usman Dar's mother challenging him like that, yeah, he's pissing his pants, I'm sure. So, so these are the different eruptions now that are taking place pre-election or prior to the elections, and obviously because of that, now Nawaz Sharif is going to get even more scared or paranoid of coming to Pakistan. Already, things weren't going right for him. The the negotiations with the establishment has been falling through. The establishment has been trying to get its cake and eat it too, as I said before. On one side, they're trying to force Imran Khan to do a deal with them. Listen, you need Imran Khan. He has the upper hand. I mean, why are you acting like America, like how America needs Pakistan, but America wants to just, put Pakistan right under its thumb and, have the upper hand, when actually it's Pakistan who has the upper hand and America has to kneel down and prostrate in front of Pakistan. So the same thing is going on. The establishment actually has to kneel down and prostrate in front of Imran Khan, but instead, despite the fact that they're desperate and they're in despair and they're hopeless and helpless, and they know that they have courted their own demise, and only Imran Khan can somehow save save their ass and save their face. So and yet, instead of kneeling down in front of him, instead of prostrating in front of him and begging him, they are actually trying to force him. They're trying to torture him. They're trying to make things difficult for him, to force him to help them. Yeah, that's not how you get help. Okay, that's not. And on the other hand, they're giving nothing. They're pretending, as I said before, that I cannot expect them to continue with their good faith. Yeah, they've released Imran Riaz Khan. Yeah, but what did they do after that with Usman Dar? What did they do with the 10 girls that they released? And then they promptly, rearrested one of them again illegally, right on the very same day or the next day. I mean, what is that? That's not a show of good faith. So you're trying to, have both Imran Khan and Nawaz Sharif, both of them in your hands. Let me tell you one thing. Nobody can save you this time. Even if Imran Khan, by some miracle, even if you manage to hammer out a few things with Imran Khan and he somehow is ready to save your ass, even then, I'm sorry, even he cannot save your ass. Because this time the establishment, the army, the intelligence agencies, the judiciary, they all need to be removed. All these organizations, these institutions, they need to be eliminated. They need to be utterly and truly destroyed, and new people need to be brought into these institutions. These institutions need to be revamped from scratch. That is the only way now. Nobody's going to accept them as they are, and just forcefully continuing with the same institutions and the same people with just a few changes, a few personnel changes here and there. I'm sorry, but that's not going to work this time. It never did work in the first place, and that is why the country at the end collapsed. So, if you truly want to save this country, you need to get rid of every single person that is currently making up the institutions. Okay? The institutions need to be rebuilt from scratch, and people need to be chosen more carefully this time. That is all I have to say. So let's see what happens. I'm hoping for more eruptions, to be honest, because this is going too slow, too long. Well, this is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.